You know, we don't sell the family for the sake of the state. We don't sell the person for the sake of the priorities of the state. They serve us, right, Mr. Obama? You know, they serve us. I don't want to make this political, but you make the connections, right? Right? So the family comes first, people come first.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real. Yo, for real. I want to get to, we're going to come back to this in a minute, but one of the things about persons is, put this down in your note, the freedom to worship and the freedom to practice and to obey their conscience. Freedom to worship and freedom to obey their conscience. Put a little star there, we're going to come back to it. So the first thing, respect for the person. Second thing, social well-being and development. Social well-being and development. In order for people to seek the goods that they need for their happiness, society has to be committed to developing themselves. You know, we've moved beyond the invention of the wheel, right? Our society is beyond just figuring out how to get this thing to that side of the street. You know, and that's good. That is great, the scientific progress that we've made. All of these things relate to people thriving, as long as the number one is kept in view, that all of the advancements and developing of society is for the sake of the person. Authorities need to facilitate the development of their society. It should make available to each what is needed to lead a truly human life. So the authorities should organize how food gets distributed, how clothing gets provided for people, how healthcare. It's important that President Obama is looking at how healthcare can get to the poor, how everybody can have access to healthcare. That's important, and that's a sign of a thriving society when everybody has the healthcare that they deserve and need. Okay? It's not right that only some people should have medicine, right? Because everybody has a right to good health. And the church has done a lot in this area. God is the highest good. I can have nothing and have everything if I have a relationship with God. You know, and you can understand what I mean by that, right? You know, but at the same time, I don't turn a blind eye to someone who's poor. You know, Jesus is interested in your life at school. He's interested in your life in your family. He's interested in your physical health. All of these things are important to him because you as a person are important to him. So the church is concerned with not just the spiritual goods of man, but all of the goods of man. Even the physical, the material needs, all of that is important to God. And the church has done loads to help people find those things. Hospitals, schools, etc. Third thing. So we had first, respect for the person. Second, social well-being and development of the society. Okay, there has to be good order. It's not chaos. Okay, there you go. Now we go to the third. Peace and just order. Connects to our zombie theme, right? Zombies are running rampage over the city. No Dunkin' Donuts, you know? No whatever else you want to do, you know?
No Facebook.
No Facebook. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
You can't be following people on the Twitter thing. Twitter. I accidentally, well not accidentally, but I signed up for Twitter the other day. It was just like one interesting thing that I thought, someone like forwarded to me, so I clicked signed up for Twitter. I was like, oh my, I've created a monster. There's like 350 people want to follow you now. You might be interested in these 687 other tweets. I'm like, I can't keep up. I had a panic attack, you know? So, you guys gotta help me manage these Facebook accounts and Twitter accounts. Twitter. Third thing, peace and good order. So, kind of self-explanatory. Little vignette, little anecdote from Ireland. I was stationed in Ireland for a couple of years, and something really struck me. We were in a small ghetto, kind of tucked away in the city of Limerick, and there was a lot of violence, a lot of gang-associated violence, a lot of drug dealing. People were getting hurt, people were getting killed, a lot of just nasty stuff going on. And then I went to other parts in Ireland, and people are buying drugs, smoking drugs, enjoying drugs. And I thought to myself, dang, I wish they could see the price that they have to pay to get this stuff out there. You know, like young people are, you know, taking bullets so and so can smoke pot in Dublin. I'm like, this is sick. This is really sick, you know. So this is the kind of thing that if there's that kind of crime and violence, it doesn't just hurt the people in Limerick. It doesn't just hurt the people in Dublin. It hurts all of us. You know, crime doesn't just affect the people who are in jail, but it affects everyone, and we know that. You know, maybe from our own experience where families have been affected by violence and stuff, we know that it doesn't just hurt some people, but it affects all of us. So peace and good order are important for the common good. Phew, covering territory here. So call them out for me. Number 1.
Respect for the person.
Number 2.
Social being in the development society.
Number 3.
Peace and just order.
No zombies. No zombies. Yes.
You know, before turning a blind eye, just reflecting on the explanation of number 3, peace and just order.
Yeah.
Where does turning a blind eye, where does consciousness, feeling guilty, or you know, the fact that the majority are kind of accustomed to that blind eye, and it kind of where does it fit into the explanation on the common good or structured society?
Yeah, very good. So we're going to actually talk about that next. Okay? So one of the principles, she was asking about how does the blind eye principle, you're turning a blind eye to people's physical needs. A lot of people turn a blind eye. How do we relate our conscience? You know, like how do we, you know, we feel guilty. Should I feel guilty when I pass somebody on the street? How do I, you know, what's the deal there? Is that your question?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's what the church says. Catechism number 2402, you can write that down. 2402 in the Catechism. Father Agostino, now this is the UDCG. UDCG. Big term here. Universal. Universal destination. D. Of created goods. Universal destination of created goods. Go back to... You okay? We got that?
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Father. So, in Genesis, God created the world and gave the whole world to Adam and Eve. God gave the whole world to you and to me, to all of us together. All of us have a right to the whole world that God created. Holy cow. This is our Father's living room. You know, this is our Father's living room. He created this whole world. It's like his living room, his backyard, his kitchen. You know, we've got the run of the place. It's my dad's house, you know. Push over. I'm coming in, you know. But, as Father Agostino said, you know, although it belongs to all of us, this church still... the church still says it's okay for people to own certain things. It doesn't mean we all have to hold it in common, but it's right that certain people own certain things. And this just kind of keeps good order, you know. Because you know what would happen if we all owned everything, you know? We'd be fighting for stuff, you know? So, but in principle, this is all for all of us. So, when we talk about conscience and owning things and having possession of things, when we own something, we never own it as our own without any exception or without any condition. When I own something, I possess it as a gift from God. Even if I work really hard for this, what I got from the work is still a gift from God. So if what I own can help other people, that's a good thing, and I have to keep that in mind. So a father, when he gets a job, he goes and gets he wants to get a job, not for his own sake, but to take care of his kids, right? To raise his family. He has other people in mind with the stuff that he's earned and with the money that he's put his sweat into to earn. He looks to his he sees all of that stuff in light of his family, in light of serving others. So that's the same thing for us. Our first priority is to take care of our family. Okay? First priority is to take care of our family. Then we can take care of the poor and our friends and those around us, okay? So, and as you're young, your responsibilities are less. But as you get older, your responsibilities are going to be more. So you're not expected as a young person to give away a lot of your money to the poor, but you can and you should, as you're able. And as a father, he's not expected to give his money that would help his family to the poor, and leave his children in the lurch. Okay? Obviously, right? So, take care of your fam, yo. Awesome. So when we pass somebody poor on the street, maybe you can't give them money, maybe you can't give them food, but you can stop and say hello to them. You can say a prayer with them, and that is, something that you don't have to feel guilty about walking by them. It's wonderful when you can stop and say hello to somebody. It could be quick.
I have some questions about that.
Yep.
Because it's something that we encounter a lot, especially here in New York. I mean, as a woman, I'm not the type of woman to think that I'm just like a man because I'm not. And if there's a homeless person there, and sometimes a lot of people here in New York are asking for money and they say they're disabled or whatever, you see them get out of the train and they're fine, and they're walking. And it's happened to me a lot of times. So, and I would be scared, honestly speaking, to go up to that person and say hello.
Yeah.
Like, what would be my go-to in that situation?
Prayer is important.